Welcome back, everybody. I'm Ari Lax here with Adrian Sullivan.
Hello.
And we're about to start round 3 play here at
That's
the
right.
Star City Legacy Open here in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. So this round we have a feature match coming up between Mark Sun playing No Rug.
Yep.
And John Sava playing the Cronenberg Blue.
Right. Now, the No Rug list here has put a couple of Force of Wills in. For a little bit there, we weren't seeing the Force of Wills. We saw a Grand Prix winner without Force of Wills. But Mark is running 2, so he is not fully committed to having 4 Force of Wills. Yeah,
I'm just looking up how many Alex Bertoncini had 2 weeks back.
Right.
It looks like he had the full 4. But Force was a card that's kind of in and out of fashion nowadays.
Yeah.
Kind of oddly enough.
It was really shocking when we saw 0 of them. I mean, I know that a lot of people that were talking online were like, that can't be right, and there he goes and wins the thing.
Yeah. So we're about to start the feature match. So on the left we have Mark Sun, on the right we have John Sava. So left is going to be the No Rug deck, and right's going to be the Cronenberg Blue deck. Yeah. It looks like most of the top 8 lists for No Rug have had all forces, but I've definitely heard arguments against the card. And I think Mike Jacob might have only ran 3 at the Invitational.
3 is actually a number I kind of really like. Obviously, the problem with Force of Will is its inherent card disadvantage, which usually the reason you use that is you want to stop something very important on turn 0 or on turn turn 0, their turn 1.
Or even in the early turns, just like a combo deck. So you run 3, you don't want to draw 2 in the matches where it's bad, but drawing 1's fine.
It's much easier to do that now that you have Mental Misstep to help carry some of that water. And we have a, go ahead.
The turn 1 plays, John led off on a basic, Mark responded with a Green Sun for 1. John tried to brainstorm in response, and Mark misstep. I don't know how much I like the brainstorm there. I think that you, like, even if you're digging for a misstep because you feel like you're going to fall behind on mana, I don't think that brainstorming that early and not getting value out of it's what you want to do.
Is that a Dryad Arbor and a Horizon Canopy that are in play now?
Nope, just 2 Dryad Arbors, no Horizon Canopies.
Okay, wow. A second Dryad Arbor is kind of, I'm not sure if that's common these days, but the one I'm used to, the second one I haven't seen as often.
I'm seeing 2 here last week in Alex Amato's list.
Now we get Tarmogoyf.
2, I think 2 might be not a...
Wow. Big fight there. Tarmogoyf gets cast, and in response... Pardon me, we should tell them that Tarmogoyf was cast. Yeah, Tarmogoyf gets cast, and on the other side, John Sava casts Vidalcan Shackles. Days from Mark Sun to fight for the Vidalcan Shackles. Force of Will from John Sava to keep the Shackles out. And
that was a huge fight because those Dryad Arbors are going to start getting stolen right now.
Yeah, and actually it might even be enough that he can stop the Tarmogoyf. The Tarmogoyf right now, I believe it has instant and land, so it's a 2/3, I think.
Yep, as far as I can tell. Green Sun Zenith did not go to the graveyard.
And a counter spell for John Sava. That means he can steal the Tarmogoyf this turn and have counter spell mana up. As long as he has an island, I think I see a polluted delta.
Nope, looks like Echoing Truth to me.
Oh, is it an Echoing Truth? I thought I saw land.
Yeah, similar one. Let's see here. Yeah, I mean, even just stealing these Dryad Arbors is going to be a huge problem.
I mean, the Tarmogoyf is still eminently stealable.
Yep.
There it is.
It's gonna... Though he does leave himself open to a natural order here, so assuming that's beginning of combat. I don't know how much I like that. I think that this Mark Sun, if he just has the natural order, is probably going to win this game.
I agree with that.
Let's look in the main deck here. There is 1 Oblivion Stone and Energy Field, so he has 4 outs to an active Progenitus.
Yeah, 3 Energy Fields, yeah, so 1 Oblivion Stone.
4 outs and a Cryptic Command to draw by a turn.
Yeah.
Yep,
there it is.
There we go. I feel like that was a very aggressive play with the Shackles. I think you can afford to take a hit. Yeah.
He's got a counter spell in hand. He can wait.
Yeah, just wait till end step, take the 2. It doesn't really matter that much. If he doesn't attack with Dryad Arbor, you can even take one of the Arbors and just chump down the Goyf. So he has to attack with the Arbors and tap, and then in combat you can take the Goyf.
Yes.
So now John is going to try and race with that Tarmogoyf, but you just attack the Goyf right into the Progenitus. I guess Mark didn't really want to just block there.
I'm not sure.
Maybe he wants to keep the Shackles on the Goyf and not let him take the Dryad Arbor, get more mana to a potential Oblivion Stone or something to answer.
That's fair. No energy field.
It's a vanilla click. And
Scoopy.
Yep, that's game over.
That was quick.
Yeah. John Sava decided to be a little conservative with his life total, take that Tarmogoyf at the beginning of combat, and instead of that working out, he just got natural ordered.
So we have no rug, or is it even rug?
No rug.
Just looking for there it is. No rug on Mark's Son, and John Sava playing the Cronenberger Blue.
So looking at sideboards here, Mark's Son can board in
4 Pyroblast. Well, 2 Pyroblast, 2 Red Elemental Blast.
Yep. See, Trigon Predator probably isn't that great because
Trigon Predator is pretty good. It kills shackles. It kills back to basics.
Yeah. I forgot
kills
about the
energy fields.
Yep. It does in fact neutralize when it hits, not just shatter. So that card's probably very good here. I can see possibly Terrastodon coming in. Though that's probably a little more vulnerable to echoing through such similar cards. So you might just want to get Progenitus every time. I'm thinking more like if he has energy field in play. Grim Lavamancer probably doesn't come in. I don't think you might want the Forcibles. You might turn into this sort of natural order combo deck because I don't know how many answers this blue deck has to a Progenitus.
You know, one of the things that's kind of interesting to me about this deck, in watching it at the last maybe five or so Star City Games Opens, this is the first time I've seen it actually cast Natural Order and successfully get Progenitus in like a long time. Yeah. It doesn't need to win with that. I mean, it can beat you with Tarmogoyf and Dillion Click and support spells. But I mean, it has this incredibly powerful follow-up where it's like, I see you're vulnerable. Natural Order,
kill you. Yeah, I know Mike Jacobs said that the Natural Orders never did anything for me, but I think that there's this kind of threat of them being there that, you know, maybe if they let's see. Maybe if, you know, they know you don't have it, then that's a problem, but, you know, how often are they going to know you don't have it?
Right. I mean, just the threat of it, right? Like, one of the things, as you were talking about, as that opening game, like, went into it, I actually thought he had the island. So, even then, actually, even with an island, let's pretend that John Sava had drawn the 4th land. It still was probably wrong for my suggestion to take the Tarmogoyf with the counterspell as backup, because we already know Mark's Son has Daze. So let's pretend that he goes Natural Order, and you go, haha, counterspell, and he's like, Daze, I don't care.
Wait a little longer, take a couple damage. You have full control of the board once you want to tap with the shackles in play, so no need to really care about randomly losing to a Daze Natural Order.
And let's pretend, for the sake of argument, that Mark's Son casts a Ponder and takes your Tarmogoyf up to a 4/5 out of range of the shackles. Well, you still have 2 Dryad Arbors sitting there that can wait and hold things off for a long time.
If he taps for the Ponder, you just respond and take it.
Yeah, then you don't have to worry about a Natural Order that turn.
Yeah. Just waiting was definitely the better play.
Yeah.
Let's
Conservative with his life total and aggressive, essentially, with his strategy.
Right. Let's see. John Sava can board in. He's going to board in Lawans. I thought this was Phyrexian Metamorph looking at it first, but it's just Revoker. I don't think he wants that.
2 Lawan seems great.
Yeah. I can see maybe Misdirection, but I don't think that's how you necessarily want to fight them. I think Lawan is probably about it we're going to see here.
I actually think that there's another possibility, too. So let's say you have Back to Basics as a threat. Back to Basics Propaganda is great against this deck, which has 1 basic land.
Well, they do have Noble Hierarchs and Birds Paradise.
True, but I mean, that's a lot of effort to, like, be able to attack with 1 creature, you know?
You do only need 1 hit, usually, with the Progenitus, so...
that's fair.
That's an interesting consideration, though. I didn't really think about that.
But I mean, it might not beat out anything that he has in there otherwise.
It might just be that that's kind of overkill in that case. So
John Sava
leaves on a top. Yeah, I think Propaganda might just be overkill because Back to Basics tapping them out might be enough.
Yeah, you're right about the birds and the Hierarch giving you enough ways to potentially to fight that Propaganda attempt.
Yeah. So definitely Lawan. There's an argument for probably not Relic. That only beats Tarmogoyf, so there's no Knights. Probably just Lawan out of here. Don't really want Tabernacle, I think. Probably just board out Echoing Truth. So John's gonna crack a fetch without topping. Or did I miss? I feel like I missed a step in here. There we go. Mark's on did in fact board in Terrastodon. Okay, there we go. I'm behind turn. Yeah. top DOT, cracking fetch. Looks like Mark has Tarmogoyf in hand. Just passing, playing the sort of draw-go game, setting up for the Tarmogoyf to actually resolve. He boarded in Counterspell for this matchup.
That's interesting. I mean, he's expecting the game to go longer, right? And so he wants to kind of go toe-to-toe on the control war.
Looks like John boarded in Tabernacle and has back to basics to go with it.
Yeah.
I think actually Counterspell might be a little bit interesting. He might want to just get to the point where he can pass the turn to John after playing a threat and have Counterspell mana up, because John has these cards like Energy Field and, back to basics that Mark actually doesn't really have good answers for. Dryad Arbor for one.
The beats.
This might also be a scenario where we see both players having boarded out Force of Wills. I think John might need them more than Mark.
I think John needs the Force of Wills.
Yeah, because of natural order, but...
I could see Mark boarding out the Force of Wills, though. Because he's planning for the slower game.
Yep.
He might also board out Days if it's a slower game as well.
Yep. So there's a Brendilion click, and in response, a Brainstorm goes off. It's like John left an Echoing Truth. I'm not sure how I feel about that one.
I don't think it does anything for him.
No.
I mean, the only thing it can do is if your opponent has dropped down double Goyf, then you can build some time back, but you're losing a card.
Yeah. There we go. So he hides 2 cards. Mark sees Misstep, Spell Snare, and lands, including the Tabernacle. Of note, the No Rug deck has no Wastelands, so that Tabernacle is going to stay in play if it's there.
Tabernacle is actually very useful against Dryad Arbor.
Yeah. So it looks like he sent the Spell Snare to the bottom, and John draws the back to basics. Spell Snare is going to line up with that Counterspell in Mark's hand. Mark ponders.
I didn't recognize the alt art for a second there. The glare and then the irregular art got me.
Yeah. So that's something we were talking about earlier. He's only got 2 ponders, but Jerry was mentioning, ponder is a card that does not get better in multiples without a shuffle effect. So you get to save your shuffle effects for Brainstorms and just a couple ponders when you need them.
Pyroblast from Mark's son, very powerful against mono blue.
Yep. Rendilion and Dryad Arbor get in there for 4, dropping John down to 13 after this fetch line.
Is that a counter spell as well?
In Mark's hand?
Yes.
Yeah, that's the arena one, I believe.
Right. John Sava's hand, despite having a Sensei's Divining Top to help sculpt it, does not look very good.
No, he hid some cards with Vendilion from Vendilion Click. It looks like a Vidalcan Shackles on top, which should be a big fight of this game right here.
Now, what does Progenitus have protection from?
Everything?
Or is it all colors? I forget. Is it everything?
It's actually everything.
Everything. So does it have protection from, I don't know, like Vidalcan Shackles?
Everything.
Everything?
Protection from everything.
Man, not even Emrakul has protection from everything.
Yeah.
It just can't be targeted by spells.
Has protection from colored instant sorceries.
Oh, colored spells. Pardon my French.
Or colored spells, yeah, that's what it is.
Colored spells.
Not quite everything.
So you can actually cast Eldrazi Conscription on Emrakul?
Yes.
In case you're playing a big commander game?
Yeah, in case you're planning on jamming that Emrakul in for 23 and 8 Annihilator.
He pays with the 2 lands there for the Tabernacle and then swings in for 4.
Yep, John drops to 9. Top reveals what looks to be not too much here.
There's a mental misstep there that can protect his back to basics. He casts back to basics.
Did he,
I don't think he laid a land. Did he draw?
Yeah, that's what I'm wondering. That was my question. It kind of looked like for a second that he didn't draw for his turn.
Maybe he drew that misstep?
No, he had the misstep. He had the misstep when he got Vendilion clicked.
That's a good point. Maybe he went so quickly he didn't draw. Mark's son goes to fetch his, that is a Scalding Tarn, so he actually has no basics that he can find with it.
Yep. going to grab a trop. Probably start a bit of a counter war here. Though John doesn't actually have... That just looks like...
Untap.
I don't think you want to pay here.
Pay. Okay, and then that Dryad Arbor is dead. There we go. Yep.
I guess he's the Pyroblast that you can fight. He chose to not... Oh, the Misstep. He knows about that.
Yeah.
He chose to trap the Volcanic, though. It's kind of interesting. I think I'd leave up the Volk so I can draw another Pyroblast and kill the back to basics.
Oh, boy. Misstep on the Noble Hierarch.
That Noble Hierarch's not really going to do anything, though, against that Tabernacle. It's just going to replace itself on mana.
This is true.
So, just baiting the Misstep there. Using his land to do so. Pyroblast the back to basics.
Oh, that's too bad, says John. Brainstorm.
Ops sees a Shackles.
Not Brainstorm, yes, thank you. Top is not a Brainstorm.
Oh, Echoing Truth, not a Shackles.
Oh. Look again, John Sava. Look again. See if there's anything else right now while your opponent is tapped down.
Ooh.
Oh.
Echoing Truth on a Vendilion Click is... I've had the interaction with Karakas come up where my opponent just kept Karakasing it, and that did not end well for them. So I cannot assume Echoing Truth is any better.
Tarmogoyf. I'm gonna look. What do I got?
Spell Snare.
If he even gets the Spell Snare, that means he's gonna be getting rid of his Sensei's Divining Top during his draw phase to that Vendilion Click.
Yep.
Oh, maybe not. It's gonna be not if it's destroyed.
He might not want to extend two guys out into that board. Just keep more mana up to pay, not have to pay twice with Tabernacle. Even though he's dead on board, maybe his opponent could have like a Shackles or something that's to fight over it with. I don't know how good the Ancient Grudge is here.
Untap.
I guess Shackles is needed to fight that card.
Fresh card.
It's an island.
Bird pays for itself. Natural order? Oh, just Goyf.
Yep. Draw step from Vendilion Click, maybe. Still had all these lands.
There we go.
That's match. So No Rug takes down Cronenberger Blue. Yeah, a lot of the threats in No Rug, 3s and 4s, and this blue deck is a little light on answers. It doesn't actually... It's got counter spells, Force of Will, Cryptic, but Force you run down cards in a deck with no card advantage. I know we were mentioning this in Cincinnati, but this deck only has one real way to 2-for-1 them. I mean, Jace doesn't really count because he's going to win the game.
Right.
Just a Cryptic command is a 2-for-1. So, you force down their Vendilion Click. That's one, down a card there. You have Counterspell, but, other than that, you have to land a Shackles, land an Energy Field, land a Back to Basics to really swing a huge advantage. And you just end up in these fights against the Rug deck, which has the same amount of disruption as you do post-board, pretty much.
One of the things that this basically looks like to me is you've got the No Rug deck, which in this game, in this matchup, gets to basically play out like an aggro control deck. So it has this ability to put down clocks like Goyf and Click.
Yep.
And then it has a lot of ways to protect those clocks. And the other deck, the control deck, literally the only way that it can